Okay, everybody set? No. Okay, well, you let me know when it's good for you, Julian. Okay, it's 7:02. Okay, I'd like to call the Town Board meeting of August 15, 2023 to order. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. Thank you. Please note the emergency exits are the door you came in and both doors at the end of the hall. Okay. I'm going to run through the agenda items. Resolution number 1 is the acquisition of a town utility vehicle. At the moment, we're keeping track constantly of individual employees' insurance and inspections just to make sure they're up to date on their personal vehicles. On the advice of council, the town insurance, and that advice has been for a number of years, frankly, they feel that this is in the best interest of the town in terms of regarding liability. We were already paying each employee per trip for mileage. So this utility vehicle will be used for a number of employees and departments, for bank trips, for shopping at Sam's and Stop and Shop, for the camp program or the senior program, for the building and deputy zoning administrator. They'll have priority for the car, and for picking up supplies at the county. Resolution number 2. We're very happy to welcome Sparrow's Nest, and we're just about ready for them to start with the digging and getting the building together. So we're happy to welcome them here, and we're looking forward to their grand opening. And resolution number 3, we're approving the hiring of a rec assistant part-time. Gina has filled in the rec office in June and has spent the summer working for the rec program in the beach. Gina is going to work a total of 17 and a half hours in the office. The current rec director, Danny Plastini, was willing to forego the full-time position that was in effect prior to Danny becoming the current rec director. And that has saved the town an annual amount between $30,000 and $40,000 depending on benefits. And therefore, Danny has put even more on her plate as a result, but we appreciate Danny's consideration of the town taxpayers. Resolution number 4, we're accepting the donation of a color printer for the rec department. Lorene, our town clerk, has generously donated a spare printer her family was not using, and we thank her for the donation. Resolution number 5, approve the hiring of a deputy zoning administrator. Colleen Hayes has worked in the building department for 5 years, and this is a well-deserved promotion for one of the hardest working town employees we have in the building. She's a real team player with everyone in town hall, a pleasure to work with, and a valuable asset for the residents. And then our payment of claims. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, Werner, would you like to start?
Sure. Whereas the town has multiple departments that use their private vehicles to conduct town business, and whereas the town board is desirous in purchasing a vehicle to accommodate the department's needs, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman does hereby approve the acquisition of a four-wheel drive utility vehicle with an amount not to exceed $50,000 in accordance with the town's purchasing policy.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Battolini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas Sparrow's Nest of the Hudson Valley Incorporated, New York Charitable Corporation, hereinafter referred to as the applicant, has made application to the Town of Beekman Planning Board for site plan approval and special use permit approval pursuant to the approved site plan for that certain 3.32 acre parcel of land, tax grid number 132-200-6759-00-465-462-000, situated at the intersection of Clove Valley Road and Town Center Boulevard in the town of Beekman, County of Dutchess, and State of New York, referred to as a property. And whereas on April 23rd, 2023, the Town of Beekman Planning Board granted site plan and special use permit approval to the applicant, subject to construction, installation, and the completion of the required improvements, installations, and lot improvements for the development of the property in compliance with all requirements, standards, and specifications of the approved site plan and other applicable rules and regulations of the town within 1 year from the date on which the town supervisor signs and certifies the approved site plan. Whereas Town Law, Section 277 requires that a developer of a proposed site plan guarantee the required improvements required by the resolution of approval prior to the issuance of any certificates of occupancy. And whereas the applicant has executed a performance agreement which requires it to complete the required public improvements within the site plan. And whereas the attorney to the town has reviewed, examined, and approved the aforementioned performance agreements. And whereas to secure the obligation to guarantee the construction of the required improvements and obligations, the applicant has tendered to the town of Beekman a performance bond agreement dated August 15, 2023, secured by a surety bond issued by CNA Surety, bearing bond number 725-75241, and issued in favor of Town of Beekman in a sum of $125,337, posted with the Town of Beekman, securing the obligations set forth in the performance bond agreement. And whereas the applicant covenants and warrants to the Town of Beekman that in the event the applicant fails to fully perform and complete all the requirements of the resolution of approval, then upon the demand of the Town of Beekman, the Town of Beekman shall have the right to draw upon the surety bond in an amount equal to the costs necessary to complete the required improvements. And whereas it is understood that the Town of Beekman shall have the right to use said security toward the completion of any required improvements required by the resolution of approval upon the default of the applicant to remedy same after the first given written notice to the applicant to do so within 30 days of receipt of said notice from the Town of Beekman. And whereas the performance bond agreement executed by the applicant further binds its heirs, executors, administrators, successors, or assigns for the faithful performance of its obligations hereunder. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman hereby accepts the performance bond agreement executed by the applicant in favor of the Town of Beekman as security to guarantee the completion of the improvements required by the resolution of approval pursuant to Town Law Section 277, upon the condition that all prior conditions are set forth in a resolution of approval dated April 23rd, 2023, shall remain in full force and effect and made a condition of the acceptance of the performance bond agreement. And be further resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts a surety bond with CNA surety bond number 725-75241 as security for the obligation set forth in the performance bond agreement in the amount of $125,337, which is to be filed with the town clerk. And be further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to file the original surety bond executed upon receipt in her files.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye. Whereas the Town Board is authorized under town law to make appointments and set salaries, and whereas the position was posted as outlined in the Employment Practices Compliance Manual, and interviews of applicants for the vacant position of Recreation Assistant were conducted, and whereas the Town Board is desirous in filling the position of Recreation Assistant as of September 5th, 2023, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman hereby appoints Gina Snyder to the position of Recreation Assistant part-time as of September 5th, 2023, with an hourly salary of $16.50 per hour.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the Rec Department has received a color printer from Abitano family, and whereas the town board resolutions are required to accept all donations, now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby accept this donation, and in doing so, does express its gratitude to the Abitano family, and be it further resolved that the record of this donation will be forwarded to the town clerk for her records of donations.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town board is authorized under town law to make appointments and set salaries, and whereas the civil service list of eligibles for the position of deputy zoning administrator was canvassed, and whereas only one candidate responded as interested in this position, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman hereby appoints Colleen Hayes to the position of deputy zoning administrator as of August 27th, 2023, with an hourly salary of $26 per hour.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini. Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law as set forth in the attached abstracts, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claim to be paid from the A General Fund, $54,477.42. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $12,042.66. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $158.72. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $1,884.24. Claims to be paid from the T Trust Fund, $2,380. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $222,502.85, for a total of $293,445.89. 8/3/2023 payroll number 16. From the General Fund, $70,182.02, and from the Highway Fund, $25,299.93, for a total of $95,481.95.
Sorry.
Go for it.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, general board comments, anybody?
I have one.
Okay.
Let me just get back to where the page was. A little sports news, local sports news.
Oh, good.
The 15 years and under Beekman Bombers have been invited to represent the town of Beekman and the state in the New York Babe Ruth Regional Baseball Tournament. And the return champions, the Beekman boys, will now represent the state of New York in the Mid-Atlantic region in the Babe Ruth World Series, August 10th through the 20th in Jamestown, New York. Playing teams from across the USA, this is a huge accomplishment for these boys and have been working toward this since 8 years and under. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for these boys, so the town of Beekman is really proud of our kids.
Yeah, and it's nice that they've been together for all those years and that they achieved really quite an accomplishment for a small town. So
And
we wish them well. They're in the middle of it right now. I hope the weather's better where they're playing than here, or they're going to have a lot of delays.
And kudos to their coaches.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'd also just like to say something. On Saturday, September 16th, the county's hosting its second annual Veterans Appreciation Picnic. To show gratitude and appreciation to local veterans, Dutchess County Executive William F.X. O'Neill and Division of Veterans Service Director Adam Roach will be hosting the second annual Red, White, and You Veterans Appreciation Picnic on Saturday. September 16th from noon to 3 p.m. at Camp Nudaming, located at 22 Camp Nudaming Road in Salt Point. This is going to be a free event that's open to all local veterans. You may bring one guest, and it will be an afternoon of camaraderie, food, and music. Registration is required, as space is limited, and you can find that at dutchessnewyork.gov/veteranspicnic.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have something.
Okay.
So it seems as though we've been having a major storm coming through the area almost once a week, with major thunderstorms, with trees down, wires down, and road closures and power outages. So your volunteers are down at the firehouse, manning the fire station. In the event that we have, we're responding to these calls, and we're also down there in the event that we have a major incident, so we're down there ready to respond. All I ask is that during these storms, please stay home, stay off the roads, because in addition to the trees and wires now, we're having people that are driving slippery conditions, driving off the road, into trees. You know, let's avoid that. Stay home, be safe, let us take care of the area. Thank you.
That sounds like good advice. I'm also going to hand out to the town board members the Town of Beekman cash accounts review from 6 months, for the first 6 months, and also the semi-annual budget performance report for the period ending June 30th. So I'm going to, that's Sharon's. Here's yours,
Thank you.
Frank, Werner, and Ezio.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't want to forget. Okay. Now we'll move on to general public comments, so 3 minutes. Michael Weber. You have the comment.
I just want to make sure that you guys are all aware of, we had an issue with Dover Ridge Water that took place, according to this letter, on or about July 5th, where the water softening system, which is used to keep the amount of radium in the water down, malfunctioned. My concern is that, right, we've dealt with that in the past. My concern is that from the fix occurred August 2nd, we weren't informed of it until August 4th, a month, 30 days later, that we were drinking potentially cancer-causing water. And I don't know who the responsibility falls on. I assume this letter came from VRI.
VRI.
It was placed on the windshield of our car. No mail, no phone call. And I guess I'm disappointed, and I would like some accountability. I don't know if the responsibility falls on VRI or the town or who to notify us of problems, but 30 days of drinking water that could potentially have long-term effects. A problem that we've already dealt with in the past seems excessive. And I guess I just want to...
It's VRI is the company that notifies you. We did in the past, after that last incident, when we sent out bills, we requested everyone's email addresses and got just about no response. I think 2 people responded with an email, so that we could respond in multiple ways in terms of that. In terms of what I can do is have the town engineer write up a report on it and actually mail it to every home in Dover Ridge in terms of the incident that you're talking about right now.
All right, like I said, 30 days seems excessive for VRI to have known about the problem before we were notified. And if it's
They're mandated, the problem is with the, as I remember it, they're mandated to notify you within 30 days. So it's not, they're just mandated to do it within 30-day period.
I understand that, but when, even according to this letter, the Department of Health has determined that that particular part that's broke is required to provide this treatment, to provide safe drinking water, 30 days just seems, you know, as the person
Right,
drinking
no, I understand that, but the same health department requires the 30 days.
Yeah, no, I get it. It just, to me, the person consuming
no, I agree.
it seems a little
No, I agree. That was our debate with the health department the last time.
Yeah, well, you know, considering they are in the neighborhood, I mean, we live right across from the well station. So we see when they come and they go, and they.
Well, there's
you know,
ongoing upgrades or
Right.
repairs pretty much on a daily basis. Unfortunately, it's an aging system, 50, 60 years old. It needs a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
The goal would be to get the county to take it over.
Yeah, I understand you guys took over a
Right.
situation that got abandoned.
Right. And I did actually, when Sharon and I first came in 6 years ago, went to the county and had a meeting with a number of people from the county, trying to discuss with them to take it over. And one of the things they said, we'd have to do all these upgrades. We've just finished a lot of costly upgrades.
Yeah, we saw the machine.
And the next step before they take it over is meters. So, and again, that will be a costly install for the residents, but the county won't take it over, and that was kind of our next step of approaching the residents in terms of doing meters. In the past, and I'm going back 30 years, residents at that time did not want to do meters.
I think a lot of us do that.
Okay, I think so too. But, you know, at that time, there were bigger families, so they didn't want to pay for it. People filled their pools. I mean, there's a whole host of reasons why. The benefits are, if there's a leak, they're going to know about it immediately. This way, there could be multiple leaks and we have no knowledge of what's going on, you know, in terms of the system. So, you know, the next step really is these meters, and we're hoping to do that. But if you have neighbors, we'll send out another letter indicating how important the email would be in order for us to be able to communicate a little bit quicker in terms of that.
Just because that whole little development is close-knit enough to where there's a Facebook group just
Right.
for us, and a lot of people were pretty upset
Right.
that 30 days elapsed.
You know, I think but very few responded when we asked for the emails.
Yeah, I
in
don't
order
recall
to do
that letter, and I mean, that was another.
It was whenever the
years
first
ago.
time happened. Would you say 18 months, 2 years ago?
Probably.
Yeah, somewhere in that point. So that we had sent that out asking and got very little back.
I guess
from it.
my next question is, if this 30-day allotment is within you know, what the time span that they're allowed to inform
Right.
us, is there any way to ask BRI to adopt an internal policy to
I can talk
inform
to-
us
I can-
quicker? Because
I can talk to them about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
30
and I can talk to
days.
the town engineer about that too.
Yeah.
And when we send out, when Dan writes up a little bit something, and then we'll include your request in terms of that.
Yeah, seeing them come in the neighborhood every day to check on the well and septic, I would think that if they could do that every day, that they could drive around and slip notes in our mailbox quicker than 30 days.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Bill? We welcome you back. Take your time. No worries.
I just wanted, thanks for writing, writing the agency about that 30 days to get it quicker, because I imagine, if I was a resident, I wouldn't want to be drinking contaminated water, and then...
That's the guidelines from the health
I
department.
know it is, but
I know.
they could go faster, like
I
you
know.
say. That's tricky. I just wanted to thank people for their. I recovered from surgery and want to thank people for their well wishes. It was nice and comforting to get your letter, your email, and to hear every people from the town. So thank you very much.
Well, good. It's good to see you, Bill. We always appreciate your postcards. Okay, so now I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss, wait, I didn't finish it yet. I gotta finish the whole thing. To discuss discussions relating to proposed, pending, or current litigation, And then medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or relating to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal.
I still second.
That's great. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are, normally I'll say if we're not going to take an action when we return, so we don't hold everybody up, but we will be taking an action for those who want to stay to hear it. I don't know how long it will be, but we will be taking an action. Okay, let me get everything. Okay, what time is it?
7:58.
Okay, at 7:58, I make a motion to reconvene after executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'll read it.
You want me to read this?
Yeah, would you
Okay.
mind?
Whereas pursuant to Section 22A of the town law, the town of Beekman is desirous of retaining Michelle Phillips of the firm Jackson Lewis PC as special counsel to conduct a confidential internal investigation concerning a personnel matter. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman hereby appoints Michelle Phillips as special counsel pursuant to Section 22A of the town law at a rate of $450 an hour, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute a letter of engagement with Ms. Phillips.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Badalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you everyone and safe travels.